Alright, in this video, I want to bring your attention to how the double-edged sword is being played out. I'm not condoning violence or anything at all. What I'm trying to do is educate you on how they are, how can I put this? They're playing the double-edged sword, okay? They play this passive, aggressive behavior. Okay, my personal endeavor with them is they will say you stole their Rolex watch when you know their watch is in their pocket. Okay? That's how they roll, in a way. Okay? I'm not condoning violence or anything, but what you have to do is be educated on their tactics. Okay? Art of war kind of deal. Okay? So here's an article or a news briefing on how they were attacked by people throwing eggs at their synagogue. Okay? What you have to be educated on, especially now, is that a lot of people are paid actors, crisis actors. The people throwing the eggs, they probably know about it. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And the Jews, these type of Jews, I'm not saying all Jews, I'm saying these type. I've had my run-ins with them. They'll sit there and lie to you, okay? Like I said, they will accuse you of stealing their Rolex watch, and then you have to call them out and say, no, it's in your pocket. And then they check their pocket and they go, oh, how'd you know? And it's like, because I was watching you. You have to be upfront with them. Like I said, you got to watch this stuff. Okay. So here's a news briefing, okay, on how they are, they're filming that these kids were egging their synagogue, which is fine. They can film. And then they say, like, well, we expect our neighbors to love us. Okay, whatever. What I don't like is the fact that, like here, for instance, here's this meeting going on. And their stuff was attacked, right? Well, what about targeted individuals? See how it says targeted communities? Okay. Targeted individuals, we don't have the resources to go up against this AI system that has been developed. In this thing I'm going to show you, see here they're crying about their eggs, their place being egged, right? Okay, but when a TI goes to the local police and says, I'm being gang stalked and harassed and assaulted with directed energy weapons, suddenly we're mentally ill. But here comes these type of Jews with the curly things, and they got a whole army behind them. You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. It's this hypocrisy on the planet. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to say do anything bad, okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to do is educate you on how they use the AI system to play a double-edged sword to make themselves look like they're the victim, when in fact the AI system is being used to create all these wars, okay? Remote neuromonitoring is directly linked to horrible brain damage. Okay? I've said this again. If they know your DNA, they can send frequencies to your DNA and to your brain chip and to your eye implant. Okay? This is why I say religion is such a big problem on this planet. Okay? Here they're covering themselves with the fact that they're Jewish, which is a religion. Okay? And, it's this passive aggressive behavior. And then at the very end of this clip, he's blaming, like, education? Are you fucking kidding me? That these kids have lack of education? Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, be aware of how they play the double-edged swords. The double. The black and the white. The Jash and the Boaz, okay? Alright? I'm not saying everybody falls into this category. What I'm saying is that you have to be aware of how they do this. Like I said, the cops take an oath to individual people's rights. Okay? And they're supposed to be serious about when a woman is raped, assaulted, stalked, gang stalked, directed energy weapons, violated by energy weapons. They have to take this shit seriously, but they're not. Because there's so many TIs that have filed reports and nothing gets done. So this is a problem on the planet, people. Okay, so I'm going to play this
Sunday, he released
here. And I'm going to go through it and point some stuff.
Community leaders say Jewish people are being targeted in Borough Park. CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez shows us how it was all caught on camera. The Borough Park showroom released this cell phone video of a group they say was throwing eggs on 38th Street outside Dome Playground in Borough Park Sunday afternoon, allegedly targeting Jews. The suspects are seen taking off, one boy running on top of a car to get away.
Okay, that looks all staged to me. Those kids, throwing the eggs and then running off. It looks all staged to me.
We are really hurt, because it's a very nice community, very quiet, and we love our neighbors, and we would expect the neighbors to love us too, right?
Morty Brand is struggling to make sense of the attack, which comes just one day after...
See, that's the passive-aggressive thing, is that they'll take a picture and they'll say, we were attacked, okay? When, in fact, it's probably, we know that there's secret technology that's being handed out there.
The synagogue next to his home on Day Hill Road was egged. On Saturday night, Brand's home surveillance camera recorded the group walking by. Then, as the synagogue door is seen opening on the right-hand side of the screen, one person walks back toward the building and launches an egg into the synagogue. 10 minutes earlier, surveillance video from a home on 38th Street shows 3 kids on the street, one throwing an egg toward a 38-year-old woman walking up the stairs. The NYPD says no one was hurt and that its hate crime task force is investigating the attacks. What do you think about all of these attacks then on your community?
I don't know what they want. I don't know what they mean. But I think we have to go after them and find who they are.
See, we have to go after them. Okay, see, but on an individual basis, when you're a TI and you're being assaulted with directed energy weapons in your own home, you have every right to go after the very thing that's going after you. Okay? But,
Weekend's incidents are like salt in the wounds of Borough Park's Jewish community. Earlier this month, there were 4 incidents on one night. Victims were taunted, punched, and chased. Police made 1 arrest in that string of crimes. City Council member Chaim Deutsch met with the NYPD and...
Okay, so here they are, and they have a lot of pull, right? They're able to sit down with all these police people, and they got a big old task force and stuff, and they filed their complaint, and here they are, blah, blah, blah. But, here's you're assaulted with directed energy weapons, and you go to the cops, and you look like you're crazy, you're mentally ill. Okay? See how they stage it, Their place was egged, And that's nothing compared to directed ELF weapons. See what I mean? So this means that they have a lot of pull with the NYPD. Look at this. This is a huge task force to listen to their complaint, to go after these kids. Do you see what I'm saying? There are so many TIs that have gone to the police, and especially women, saying that they have been electronically raped and everything, okay? Denial of service, denial from the doctors and stuff like that. Lawyers, prosecutors. But yet when their place gets egged, they have a fucking fleet of people listening to their complaint because they're Jews. See the double-edged sword? Now, I'm not condoning violence, but we really need to wake up to this, people. Okay? Your DNA is being tracked by Skynet, an AI system. Okay? And you have rights and they're trying to circumvent your constitutional rights. Oh, well, but you throw eggs on their building and they have every right to go after the perpetrators, and then they call up the NYPD and they have a whole fleet of fucking people at their service. When you're just an individual citizen and you pay for their salary, You pay for the cop's salary on a daily basis through your property taxes, and you get fucked and they just tell you that you need to go into a psych ward. See the hypocrisy? This is what I'm talking about, people. I know about these people a little bit. Okay, I've had my run-in with them. Like I said, they will take off their Rolex watch, blame you for stealing it when it's really in their fucking pocket to begin with. Do you understand the irony, the analogy? I'm not kidding you. I've had my run-in with them. And you got to keep your eye on this stuff. Okay? They do a passive-aggressive behavior. Okay? They'll stand there and lie to you. I'm not kidding you about the Rolex watch thing. Okay? I worked at TSA. Okay? And these people came up, threw their stuff in there, and I was watching the father. Okay? And he took his Rolex watch off, he put it in the bin, pushed it through, and then they got their stuff and took off. About 5 minutes later, the father comes back screaming at the supervisor saying that we stole his Rolex watch. And I was the only one that stood up to him and said, no, it's in your pocket. I saw you put your watch inside your jacket. So you gotta watch this shit. I was the only one that stood up to him. And he goes, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah. I'm trying to put my supervisor through all this fucking paperwork, and you're standing there lying. Okay, so that's what I have seen, and that's what I have experienced with these type of people. You gotta watch them, people. They play the double-edged sword on society. The kids that are egging the synagogue are probably paid actors. Like George Soros pays everybody with gift cards and gives them tattoos and stuff. You gotta watch it, people. And then when they file a complaint about their precious synagogue being egged, here they got a whole fleet of police officers. But here you, as a human being walking this planet on a third-dimensional plane, you're assaulted with directed energy weapons. And then you go to talk to the cops to say stop the gang stalking and the harassment, and fuck you. You go into a mental institution. You're crazy. What do you mean PG&E is burning down your house in California? What the fuck you talking about? Yeah, my house is on fire because I got fucking directed energy weapons and robot embers burning my shit. Oh, and the fucking FEMA says I can't get my house back. You gotta watch it, people. They are very good at being passive-aggressive. So here, I'm gonna play the rest.
Community leaders last week to discuss the recent pattern of anti-Semitism. Sunday, he released a statement saying, we must break this cycle that...
In targeted communities. What about targeted individuals? You know?
requires increased police coverage in targeted communities, as well as aggressive prosecution when perpetrators are identified.
I think it's the education that, that the principals in the school have to talk to them and take care of it.
The principals in the school have to teach these kids, the educators? What the fuck are you talking about, boy? See what I mean? It goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. See, and the Jews think that you're stupid. Those type of Jews think that you're too stupid to see them. I see them all the time. I've seen them do gang stalking on me. Oh, yeah. So, I know, look, I'm not trying to condone war with the, well, okay. There is a war. It's a silent weapon for silent wars. Okay? But, this is what I wanted to show you, especially the picture where,
Police don't know if this same crimes.
They're
Community leaders last week.
What I'm trying to do is a comparison. You as an individual, see, it looks like they have pull. They got pull within the community to get the NYPD sitting at a table that probably 2 days later and have a meeting about trying to find these kids. But, here's you. You know, you go into a police officer station saying that you're being electronically harassed and mind fucked, brain damaged, and they just want to classify you and say, well, you know, you're crazy. Look, the police know all about the directed energy weapons. They know about remote neuromonitoring and everything. They know it all, okay? And, you know, they are all part of a cult. 33-degree Freemasonry. Okay? I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just going to say, in general, I bet you anything, they're all 33-degree Freemasons.